What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me for a new video. Today, I'm joined by print-on-demand expert. He has a lot of accolades, but this is Travis. And why don't you just go ahead and let me know all the accolades you've got as far as print-on-demand goes?
Accolades. Well, I have my own print-on-demand center. We have 6 different printing methods. I'm here in just outside of Denver, Colorado. We do embroidery, UV, vinyl, DTG, sublimation, and laser. And so we fulfill for other, online e-commerce sellers that are doing print on demand. We sell also ourselves. We sell on Amazon.com. I like you got started, in the FBA game and did some private label, still have some private label products that we still fulfill and, those types of things. But our main focus now is on print on demand, but we sell on Amazon, Etsy, Walmart.com, some Shopify stores. And then again, we fulfill for lots of other people. And then, in my spare time, I've got a wife and 5 kids and, just living the life here in Colorado.
That's awesome, man. I was actually supposed to visit Colorado for the first time last year, and then we ended up pushing the trip back. So who knows when I'll make it out there, but also didn't want to forget to plug the podcast, right? The POD.
Yeah, the print on demand cast. Yeah, I totally forgot. See, I have so many things that are going on. I just totally forgot about the print on demand cast. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be subscribing after this. And guys, if you're watching this, show them some love. I'll put the link at the top of the description. It's the Print on Demand Cast or the POD podcast. I mean, the name alone, you gotta show them some love.
Yeah. It's me and a buddy of mine, Josiah. We co-host, and we're just a couple of goofballs, a lot of dad jokes and silliness. But basically, the reason we started the podcast is because when we started Print on Demand, we couldn't find anything out there that we really, really resonated with and wanted to listen to. And so we basically just, now that we've got a couple years under our belt, he has his own fulfillment center. I have my own fulfillment center. We know some stuff now. And so now that we have, kind of a little bit of experience, we basically are creating the content or the podcast that we wished had been there when we started out. And so we're just trying to help people and share, some of the stuff that we know and, keep them from making the same mistakes that we've made, over the last few years.
Dude, that's super valuable, man. I always tell the story, when I'm telling my story of how I started, ran through issues, it took me so long to scale up my businesses in general. Cause I was in the same boat. Really, I was thinking back to the only podcast I listened to was called, wow, how am I blanking? It was called the Merch Minds podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Heard of them, and the two guys
I listened to that. Yeah. Young and
entertaining.
Yeah. That was the thing. It was there were podcasts, but they were more focused on the merch by Amazon side or what I call the royalty based print on demand services. And there were, and so we do try to cover that. And as a matter of fact, we just interviewed another YouTuber, RJ, and talked about KDP, and so we do, talk about some of those royalty based print on demand platforms, but we also wanted to talk about, how do you sublimate a coffee mug? What is DTG? And some of the physical things, and actually, what is it like to have employees? Those types of things. So, you can kind of pick and choose which direction you want to go with your business, and we want to kind of be there for whichever direction you intend to go.
Yeah, that's really interesting and stuff that I honestly never really even considered because I just trust it to the experts. You know what I mean? I trust it to you. But I'm interested in learning. But you mentioned earlier, and I did actually see your interview with RJ, and that's what made me reach out because you sell on Walmart, and Walmart it seems elusive, at least in my personal experience. I mentioned before we started recording that I applied actually twice about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and then a year and a half ago, something like that. And I just haven't been able to get in. I saw your interview with RJ, and then today, this morning, received a rejection for my application. So I guess I just want to learn more. And I'm sure everybody watching wants to learn more specifically about how we can get on there, because I guess a little bit of context, one of the main things I preach is that internet real estate is cheap. So we want to occupy as much of it as we can with our product offerings.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, diversification is super important. As a seller on Amazon, putting all your eggs in that basket, it's not the best basket to have your eggs in. So any way you can diversify, is super important. So Walmart, I actually got on a couple of years ago, and I heard about it we used to do a conference called the Rocky Mountain Reseller Conference here in Colorado. And one of our speakers was talking about jet.com and walmart.com. And so I immediately, as soon as I, kind of heard the speech and, networked with her, I jumped on both platforms. Jet.com, I never sold a thing. And pretty soon they were sold and bought by Walmart.
I cannot believe, I think they got acquired for like 40 billion, something absurd.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Number. Yeah.
I mean, basically they were buying the CEO, that was really, they wanted that expertise. And some of the things that Jet was doing was really cool. We talk a little bit about that on my podcast in one of the episodes, so I won't go into that, but I really wanted to diversify. And so I was able to get on Walmart. And at the time, it was a joke. I mean, I had to click. So when you get an order, you have to click a specific button on their site that says you acknowledge the order, and then you can, print it, and then you can ship it and all this stuff. And so there's kind of a flow there. And one of the first times I was on there, I couldn't even scroll the page to get to the button I needed to print, or I needed to push on my laptop. So I had to get on a desktop machine just to be able to acknowledge the order so I could actually ship it. Now that's 2 years ago. And since then, they call it Seller Center.
2019.
Right. Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Come on, man. Figure out how to scroll on your website. But it's a lot better now. Their interface is, much, much improved. But it's still, the reason I think people are so interested in it is because I believe it's really still early for Walmart.com. Walmart.com is now the number 2 e-commerce platform in the world behind Amazon. And I believe that Walmart.com now, accepting third-party sellers is kind of where Walmart was in 2012, 2013. And who among us wouldn't have loved to know what we know now and be selling on Amazon 7, 8 years ago. And that's kind of how Walmart is with the competition, because just like you said, there's a little bit higher barrier of entry. But wherever there's resistance, there's profit available on the other side of that. If you can push through that resistance, there's opportunity every single time. And that's exactly what Walmart is. And it's been really great. It's definitely my personal number 2 channel, just selling print on demand products.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's another thing that I always talk about on my channel is, find your edge. You know what I mean? Whatever it is you're doing, even if it's not related to print on demand, hopefully there's some edge, something that you bring, whether it's your own personal expertise or, if you're selling print on demand in general and your goal is to make money, compare Walmart to Redbubble. Everybody loves Redbubble. When I talk about Redbubble on YouTube, those videos tend to do pretty well, but it's also because the barrier of entry to get on there is probably as low as any marketplace.
Right.
And the competition adjusts accordingly, right? It's a lot harder to make sales there. So yeah, Walmart. And of course I can't even get onto Walmart, but hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully soon I'll get in there. But is there any tips you have? You said, by the way, it's called Seller Center, which is just funny coincidence, right? So similar to Amazon Seller Central, but any tips on the application process? By the way, guys, I'll drop a link in the description too, in case you want to apply.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I applied 2 years ago. So I'm sure the application process has changed a little bit. However, I was on Clubhouse recently and I was with some people, and one of the people was actually going through the process just to kind of say, and what about this question? How should I answer this question? And I kind of just gave my best guess. But one of the things that I encourage people to not do is to say that they do print on demand. Don't use those terms. The best way you can approach your application is by saying something, or by basically it's an attitude that you have to have that says, what I have to offer is going to be valuable to Walmart's customers. And so, I mean, I'm not saying lie or, be deceitful in any way. I just simply say, I have thousands of products. Each are individually, keyworded and titled to bring value to Walmart's customers or something along that line. I mean, you can obviously make a better description or, plea than that. But I don't think you need to say I do print on demand. I don't think you should really say anything about drop shipping, any of those things. Leave that for your business and just tell Walmart what they want to hear, which is you have valuable products that Walmart's customers are going to want to buy. And Walmart would do well to allow you onto their platform so you can make them money. I mean, that's really what they want. They want you to make them money. And so if you can convince them with confidence that that's exactly what you're doing, you have a better shot at it. And I know that's kind of really random or really kind of generic advice. But I think some people are so intimidated by, the Walmart big bad, approval process that they don't necessarily have that confidence. So, I mean, they are going to ask you for a web store or of some sort. You're going to have to provide links to that. They are going to ask you your revenue numbers. It used to be that they wanted only people that made, $1 million plus revenue. I've heard people get approved now with less than 100,000 of revenue in a year. So I think they've lowered the barrier to entry a little bit. But I mean, besides that, again, just I think with confidence, answer their questions, and just don't use print on demand. Don't use that type of language because they're not looking for another print on demand company to come on their platform. They are looking for people that have quality products that their customers want to buy.
Yeah, they don't want the liability that comes with some print on demand sellers that, maybe farm the work out. You know what happened last year in 2020 in the initial first half of the year with like month-long delays on t-shirts and whatnot. I don't want to deal with that headache, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that you should know about Walmart is that when you first come onto the platform, you have a lag time, which is basically like your handling time. They just call it a lag time. It's 2 days, and that's across the board. So you can apply for an increased lag time of up to 5 days. So that does, pose a little bit of a problem when we have, a worldwide pandemic or massive order quantities happening and, the mail's getting delayed and the print on demand places are, if you're drop shipping, those are getting delayed. You really kind of you're going to have to watch that. But I do recommend that the moment you get accepted, you immediately Google or actually go to their help files and find how you would get that extended lag time, because you're going to need that specific, or particularly if you're drop shipping. For me, I got the lag time and then I dropped it back to 2 days because I have my own fulfillment center and I can get them out that fast.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be for everybody. So, I mean, that's one of the things we want to do is be able to be a supplier for people who are on Walmart and doing print on demand. I mean, that's a goal of ours. And so, but we're going to require that everybody gets that 5-day lag time because you just have to have it.
That's a good niche though, for your, to scale up your printing business, man. That's a good niche. Like, because everything else has people
integrations.
Right. But that would be
nobody has Walmart. Yeah. Nobody has Walmart integrations.
You're the Walmart company. Then, that's an edge. I was going to say one question that popped into mind. You reminded me. So if I'm thinking about my application, like two things that stand out for anybody that's applying as you listen now, there was one question that asked, are you importing products? And so I was applying to, sell my FBA stuff and my print on demand stuff. So I hit yes. And maybe that did it. And then also what also stood out to me is you said you have to provide a store. When I applied, it asks for my Amazon store, even though I didn't say anything. I don't think I said anything about Amazon. Maybe they did ask me if I was selling on Amazon, but like it would not allow me to paste any formatted URL pointing to my store. So I had to like leave it blank.
Really?
So maybe that's what it was.
Huh. That's really bizarre. I do remember them asking if I did sell on Amazon and would I give them the, the marketplace ID or whatever it was, the store ID. But I remember also they asked for another e-commerce, like what is your website or whatever. And I did have, I had at that time, I can't remember which product I had, but I had something for one of my private label products that it was like a WordPress site with WooCommerce or something.
I put a website in that too. I didn't even think about it. I'm so used to like putting my personal like RyanHogue.com website in. I think I put that. I should have put like one of my Gear Bubble stores or something.
That could be it, because if you don't show that you have products, what good are you to
I'm
them?
looking over here at my side monitor. I think I can reapply. So I'm going to do that. But hey, while I've got you on, like for those of us that get into Walmart, there's got to be some other like maybe beginner tips you can give. And also I was curious like what your best selling product is on Walmart.
Right now, best selling product is going to
Type.
be coffee mug. And we do a lot of different coffee mugs, but that's seems to always, really take off, during Christmas, of course, and Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Those we have probably 15,000 or so different products up right now. The tip that I would give, or I would I would start by creating your own products, do in their user interface, which is actually pretty good. But I would, for us, we have everything in a spreadsheet, all of our product,
Yeah.
details, UPCs, listing pictures, titles, keywords, everything. And so Walmart has inventory uploader files that you can use, much like Amazon does, but they're just formatted different. So you can copy and paste. My gold nugget tip would be for you to not populate that with hundreds and thousands of products right off the bat. Start with 3 or 4 on the inventory uploader file and make sure that they are showing up on Walmart well, and they show up the right way. The pictures are in the right order, the titles and everything's in, all lined up before you really kind of just go crazy and put a bunch of stuff up there, because we actually did that, and we've had a bunch of issues because they're so new. Like I said, it's Amazon in 2012. There wasn't a lot of competition, but they didn't have their crap together either. and there was a lot of bugs and junk like that. And so Walmart's dealing with that. There's a ton of bugs in their inventory uploaders. We've had so many tickets open with Walmart support. It's crazy. So be slow, just, slow and steady wins the race, I guess, is the gold nugget tip.
Yeah. It sounds like you're the beta tester.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like sometimes.
Does it cost money to sell on Seller Center?
No, that's the beauty of it. From what I hear, there is no limit either. So there's no listing fees and there's no upward limit. Like on Amazon, there's 1.5 million is if you go above that, you have high listing fees, but not on Walmart yet. Now, surely they'll probably put something in at some point. Another thing that you do need to consider when you're selling print-on-demand products is UPCs. Now, on Amazon, you can get a GTIN exemption, which GTIN is just, it's a global trade identification number. So a UPC or an EAN or an ISBN, those are all GTINs. On Amazon, you can get an exemption. On Walmart, I have not met anyone that's gotten an exemption. One of the reasons,
that was the question too. And I put no, but I do actually have some UPC codes from FBA. So maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That I would say yes on that, because in order to list, you're not going to get an exemption. So you're going to have to figure it out. And, we don't really want to go into all the UPC stuff. But, I use a company, I get UPCs and I use them for my products only on Walmart because it's the only way you can list them. The other thing they just opened up FBW, which is fulfilled by Walmart, which is basically FBA on Walmart. It's really new. You have to apply. Once you're in, you can apply to be an FBW. I applied months ago, finally got my invite a couple of weeks ago. And so we're, going through the process, trying to figure out, because it's different than FBA. They want it in a little bit different way. One of the things that is different is that you can't use, Amazon has FN SKUs, fulfillment network SKUs, product identifiers, basically for each product. You can't use those on Walmart. They want you to use the UPC. So you're just still going to have to print out those little stickers, but you got to use the UPC, which makes sense that why they wouldn't allow GTIN exemptions if their whole back end FBW is going to be full of products with UPCs on them.
That's interesting.
So yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Because is that a shortcoming of their tech infrastructure in the long run? Because it'll inhibit people from doing the print on demand, which if their goal is to make money, I was going to ask next too, what does their fees look like?
Gosh, I'd have to look. I think their FBN fees, like fulfilled by merchant, fees are basically the same as Amazon. I think it's around 15%. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're a little higher on the FBW, if I remember right. Currently, as you know, when I looked at it like 2 weeks ago, they only have 2 places that you can send your inventory right now. There's one in Kansas, close to Kansas City, and then there's another one in Kentucky. So maybe you're going to save a little money because they're going to let you ship to one place. But you may pay a few extra pennies in the fees when those products actually sell for FBW.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much, man. We could literally talk for an hour. I'm not kidding.
That's the thing, though, but I feel like so far, I mean, the questions that have come to mind organically, you even jumped the gun on me asking about the UPC codes. And that was something that if I get to reapply, I'm going to swap that answer because I can get a list of, I have a list of UPC codes that I could definitely use. May or may not be from eBay for like $5. Wink, wink.
Well, if you're gonna open that Pandora's box, I will encourage people not to go on eBay to get their codes. There is a difference between a UPC and an EAN, and a lot of those people that are selling UPCs on eBay, I'll sell you an EAN, which has 1 extra digit, which will not work on Walmart. Okay. I learned that the hard way. So I go to a place called Speedy Barcodes. No affiliation or anything, but they sell former GS1 or GS1 codes that have been turned back in that the companies aren't using. So buyer beware. They're a little more than $5 for 10,000 or whatever eBay is, but yeah, they are reasonably priced. Like, you're not paying GS1 numbers for these things.
Because if it was that, you wouldn't be able to afford. You wouldn't be able to. Yeah, that's good to know. Totally. Speedy barcodes. All right, I'm writing that down too, so that I don't forget.
I need an affiliate for that, man.
From your affiliate link, I'll pop it into this. Travis, man, you've been a lot of help. And if there's anything else that we should know about Walmart that comes to mind now, this was a great introductory video. And like I said, I'm going to be reapplying, guys. So if I get in, I can drop another video and just let you know what I changed. Basically, how to apply for Walmart. That'll be the video title. Thanks for your help, man. Anything else you want to plug?
Now just, check out our podcast. And if you do get approved for Walmart, there aren't like Printify, Printful, all those, the usual suspects. They don't have an integration with Walmart. We're going to be using Order Desk to be able to integrate. So, if you're interested, hit me up. We're still kind of getting through all of that. So it may be, a little while before we can actually, press play on that whole thing. But that's our goal, is to be able to, fulfill for people, and we'll be able to integrate with Walmart. So it'll just be an automatic, seamless thing, just like, the tracking will get pushed back up to Walmart and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I'm all about, man. Scalability, automation, so we can scale, right? And man, whenever it's ready, I'll have you back on. We'll let everybody know. Hopefully my YouTube channel will be at 100K subs by then. Those of you guys watching that aren't subscribed, you know what to do. But that's it, man. Hey, thank you for being here.
You bet, man. Thanks for having me on.